Clean power field lens number 4. Consent is an instrument panel, not a vibe. Okay. Again, I'm gonna I'm gonna say this. Consent is not a vibe. It is not like a general feeling of like, oh, I think they consent. I think consent is here. No. Like it needs to be very clear, stated, and well known. Okay. You can think of it like dashboard lights. When that check engine light is on, it's very clear. It's a picture of an engine and it's on. You have to check your engine now. And if you don't, your car will fail. Okay. It's not like, I wonder if I should take my car. No, there's no wondering. Consent is very clear. Okay. So the explanation for this, consent is not just about sex. I'm not just talking about sex, but it is for that too. It's in relational, emotional, logistical, financial, energetic, personal, interpersonal. You have to consent with yourself too, all of your parts with internal family systems. This is vital. If you don't actually check in and get consent with your entire system, like maybe my mind wants to go to the gym, but my body's like, bro, we got to fucking take a rest day. You got to take a rest day, right? And the body has an actual onboard mechanism to let me know. Either fatigue, my joints can be a little stiff. I can be sore. I used to leg day with a buddy of mine over here, Yavel. His legs are hurting. He was, coming in here. And so if I were to be like, yo, bro, let's go live legs. And if he didn't listen to his body, he didn't get consent from his body, he'd get hurt. Well, this plays out in our lives. People get hurt because we don't listen to ourselves, they don't listen to themselves, and we don't listen to them when they actually say that they don't consent. And again, we have to be clear. It is not a vibe. You have to be very clear about your consent. So when we think about this, we have to be respectful of the signals that we're getting. And if we have a hint that check engine light is on, we have to then ask clarifying questions. And we have to ask questions that are not predatory. So let's say I really want to go to the gym. Okay. I'm like, come on, bro, you're fine. No, that's me not respecting the consent of my body if I'm sore, or his body if he's sore. So what's the field tell for this? Dirty power here, or dirty consent, is when it assumes, when it pushes, and when it tries to request, extracts access, okay? It's not actually respecting the sovereignty of the other being or even yourself. Clean power, it asks cleanly, it listens cleanly, and it adjusts cleanly. So there's a clear request. I'm gonna use Yavel as an example, which is perfect. Hey, Yavel, I'd like to go lift legs today. He goes, my legs are really sore. Okay, I then have to hear that and listen and say, okay, I hear that your legs are really sore. And then I'm going to adjust. How about we go do upper body? He's like, bro, my CNS, my central nervous system is really taxed right now. I'm exhausted. I'm like, well, I really want to hang out with you. I really want to go to the gym because I'm obsessed with Lifetime Fitness. So I can then make a new plan and pitch him on that. How about we go use the sauna and stretch out? Boom. I respect consent, and it's clean power. Okay, here's a litmus test for that. Is there a clear yes? Or am I trying to manufacture one? Now, I'm trying to manufacture hanging out with my friend in this example. And I'm also trying to manufacture hanging out with my friend at Lifetime Fitness because it's very, very nice and I like to go there. People are very friendly and I have a lot of friends there. And so because of that, I'm trying to kind of basically narrow my experience for this particular outcome, but I'm also respecting his consent and his body's consent. So here's another really good litmus test for this. Would I still be proud of the interaction if it was recorded? That's huge. One of the reasons I love this podcast, all of these sessions are recorded. And I got people out there on the internet gunning for me. Like literally, they would love to see me fail. Oh my God. And I'm so sad for them that they are so excited about that, but it makes me laugh. I think it's hilarious. And so these conversations are recorded. I have conversations with a bunch of different people and I am proud of how I show up. And I try to think about that. What if there was a camera, an angel on my shoulder recording everything? Would I still be proud of how I showed up? I one time had an interaction with this young lady who was very deeply wounded. And I was showing up in a way that I didn't really like, and she was really showing up in a way that I didn't like. And I said, I'm gonna record this conversation for both of us. And I did. And she was just very wounded, very, very, very wounded, the way that she was responding. And I noticed I was getting spun up in that too. And I actually showed that video to one of my best friends. I said, I want your feedback, not on her. She clearly is like, I'm not talking to her anymore. She's done with me. I like in my life. No. But I want you to give me feedback on how I showed up. I don't think I did a great job. I want feedback. And he goes, Light, I'm going to be honest with you, that was not your best self. Here's why. And how you show up, how you are able to actually follow, this wasn't a consent issue with this young woman, but it was how we were showing up. How you were able to show up in the moment when people are watching is very different than when you don't, when other people aren't watching. And that's then, do you have consent of your system? Are you consenting to the version of yourself in the future of who you want to become that you respect? So something that you can use as an experiment for this. Upgrade one request today to like, and we can use the example that I used with Yvel. Okay, state what you want first. Next, give an easy out. Don't want to go to the gym? Totally okay. We can go on Thursday. Next, make no safe. So say what you want, and you can use this as like going on a date. Hey, I'd love to take you out to Dushanbe Tea House. Easy out. If you're busy today, no worries. And if you're not interested in a tea or coffee date, I totally get it. Boom. The person then can consent to that. And they can then enter into that relationship with you without any manufactured fear or scarcity or pressure. That's real consent. And the people that then are interacting with you, they're there because they actually want to be with you, not because of some weird predatory energy. And honestly, this is how you become magnetic, irresistible. And so I talk to a lot of guys about dating. I'm very magnetic in dating. And, we had Ben Duffy on the podcast recently, the spiritual fuckboy. He's very magnetic. We talk a lot about this. We talk about it in the group coaching program. How can you be irresistible without being coercive, without trying to like extract, right? Without using, weird tactics that are like negging and speaking ill of people. That's not who you want to be in the world. So if you want to learn more about understanding consent and then actually leveraging real consent so their nervous systems can relax and be open and then receive. Because if you're dating and if you're a guy, you want them to receive you, if you know what I'm saying, right? People need to relax. Their nervous systems need to be calm. To be able to do that, you need to be calm and provide appropriate consent, appropriate boundaries, and make your pitch in a nice, safe, and careful way. If you want to learn more, send me a DM.